After 6 incredible nights at Nosop, we finally departed for Mata Mata. Mata Mata is the third camp in the Kgalagadi Transfrontier Park that is managed by Sand Parks and is one of our favorites. Driving south of Nosop, we were a little bit nervous about what the roads would be like, as we had heard that the water damage from the heavy rain was quite extensive as you near Dikbarskalk. Shortly after enjoying our last meander around Marri's loop, we saw the road changes and the damage caused by the rain was quite evident. Much of the roads were washed away. Although there wasn't as much water left, you could see how the water had changed the landscape. Fortunately, it was safe, and we never saw any sections that we were anxious to cross. As we reached Dikbarskalk, we did see evidence of all the graders that had reshaped and remodeled the roads that had clearly been washed away. While we had our little pit stop at Dikbarskalk, we had heard of a few lion just south of the picnic site and decided to take a chance to go and see them. It was only a few hundred meters down the road that we saw the lions on the left, having an afternoon rest under a tree. And it was obvious that the road damage between Melkvlei and Dikbarskalk was clearly the worst. Fortunately, we could go back up to Long Dune Road and then cross over to Mata Mata and did not have to do that road.
We came across these two beautiful Tawny Eagle on Long Dune Road whilst making our way towards Mata Mata. Carmen and I have this friendly photographic competitiveness.
Not always friendly.
Or at least I think so. I remember being so frustrated for missing what could have been the perfect shot, but Carmen got it. The Tawny Eagle itself is pretty large, measuring up to 72 centimeters in length, and can weigh up to 2 kilograms. It has a large wingspan measuring up to 1.85 meters. The females are typically larger than the males, which is the only distinguishing difference between the two.
Ostrich and steenbok are quite common sightings on both the short and the Long Dune roads. We had heard that Long Dune Road was in reasonably good shape as we crossed over to the Mata Mata Aob River, but found as you go over the dunes, in many instances, parts of the sides of the roads had actually been washed away. So when you drive over the top of a dune, just remember to be cautious as you don't quite see what's on the other side.
We were so fortunate enough to have come across this beautiful martial eagle at one of the water puddles made from the past rains. Martial eagles are the largest of the African eagles and incredibly powerful, capable of knocking a man off his feet. It has been said that with 1 foot they are capable of breaking a man's arm. They can weigh up to an astonishing 6.5 kilograms.
The Ayob River Valley Road closer towards Mata Mata is distinctive and very beautiful. It is one of our favorite roads in the entire park to travel. You will frequently have raptor sightings, giraffe sightings, as well as a variety of antelope, especially large herds traveling along the Ayob River Valley. The roads were clearly in much better condition than those at Nosop. However, you could see much damage on the sides of the roads that had been cleared where sections had been washed away. It was really lovely to see all the green in the river valley bed. We were very fortunate to be able to get a great campsite quite quickly after we arrived and set up for the next 2 days.
Come again? The contrast of these giraffe walking up the red dunes with a blue sky in the background was absolutely magnificent. I have always admired how graceful these skyscrapers look when they walk. Giraffes are undoubtedly the tallest mammals on Earth, with their legs alone being taller than the average human. Even though mothers stand over their calves, it is unfortunate that many calves are taken by hyenas, lions, and leopards in the wild. A giraffe's spots are like human fingerprints. No two individual giraffes have exactly the same pattern.
As most of you will know by now, both Jason and I absolutely love photography. We are real amateur photographers. What you may not know about us is that we also really love collecting wine. We are from Cape Town, and naturally, when you're from Cape Town, wine is a part of our environment with all the vineyards and wine farms nearby. And about 10 years ago, we decided to start tasting. This was brought about because we had started our young family a few years before that, and we were always looking for places to go with our kids. And one of the nice things you can do at wine farms is that whilst you have a tasting or a pizza, your kids can have of the best gardens really in the world to play in.
One of our favorite things to do when going to the farms is listening to the winemakers and the connoisseurs about the stories of the farm and the bottles and the cultivars themselves. We definitely don't go to the wine farms to buy cases and cases of wine, but rather pick out a bottle that we really, really like, not just for the wine itself, but the incredible stories that come with it. I saw a really cool idea on Pinterest the one year, and we decided to display some of the really nice bottles that we have bought along the way. And in this started our collection. So what we do with our travels is we select a couple of bottles for each holiday, and we take them with us. So we don't believe in keeping the wine for years and years on end, but rather enjoying it. And this is where our tradition started.
So part of that tradition has always been to take roughly a bottle a night that we would take off our walls for every big trip that we do. So Kruger, Kgalagadi, Arro, wherever it may be, so that we can actually enjoy what we've collected and enjoy the memories and talk about the memories that we've made in that year. What camping traditions do you have?
On one particular morning, we made our way down towards the Dartington waterhole. To our surprise, about 100 meters from the waterhole itself, we came across 6 cars. And that can only mean one thing: cats. We were told by one of the cars that had been there for quite a while that there was a mother and 2 cubs sitting behind a bush. With that said, we decided to sit and stake out for a little bit longer just to see if we could see them. 30 minutes later, our kids got a bit bored and we decided to head off. because we had no sight of them whatsoever. 100 meters further on, we came across a large male lion resting under a tree, which was about 50 meters from the road. At this point, it was 9:30 in the morning and the temperature had already reached 32 degrees. We decided to get comfortable and have our breakfast in the car while spending time with him to see if he moves. About 1.5 hours later, we decided that we had had enough of the heat and wanted to move on. I turned on the ignition, but nothing happened. The initial look on my family's face was a combination of excitement for the adventure and fear, knowing that one of us had to jump out the car and jumpstart the car. My kids found this hilarious and couldn't stop laughing. We flagged down a fellow camper who was only happy to help. So thanks to the guy who without hesitation jumped out to assist. In future, when sitting at a sighting, I'll make sure that my ignition is off and that we've got a handled fan and not the fan from the car.
In part 8, we spend our last night at Mata Mata before the most exciting part of our trip, and that is our 2 nights at Rooiputs.